Hey everyone, welcome to week 6. We are rapidly approaching the midpoint of the semester. So we're talking about client satisfaction this week, and this is sort of one form of program evaluation. Agencies want people to like them and sort of be happy with their services. So we're going to talk this week about how do we sort of measure how satisfied people are with services. In the social work world, this idea of satisfaction cannot and should not replace sort of change on a problem. So, if you think about what social workers do, we often ask people to do very hard things. In my work, for example, I'm often asking people to quit or severely cut back on their drinking. And that's something that some clients, aren't necessarily interested in doing. They may do so reluctantly. They may do so and be angry with me. And so, if I can show, reductions in drinking, that's a good. I mean, that's a good clinical outcome. But then I also want people to be sort of satisfied with the services that I provide as a clinician. And so, and that can be tough because people often, like I said, they sometimes resent the fact that I'm challenging them, that I'm sort of asking them to do something very difficult. Very difficult. Um, Nevertheless, even people who do addictions work often find that clients are ultimately very satisfied because with the agency, the providers, that kind of thing, they're often very satisfied because they realize sort of the positive impact that changing a problem has had on their lives. So, I guess two big things to keep in mind is that client satisfaction is important, but it cannot replace other studies that show change in a problem variable of some kind. So, oftentimes we're using client satisfaction in addition to sort of some other kind of outcome evaluation to show change in a problem. So, as usual, everything you need is here in the week. Readings here, lecture here, about 25 minutes, slides, quiz, feedback, that kind of thing. Short discussion forum won't take you very long to do. Second thing I want to do is just switch over to Excel real quick. So I'm just going to pause the video and do that. All right. So since we've canceled the synchronous sessions, and I have to get this information about Excel to you some other way, what I've just created is sort of a short um, practice worksheet for you real quick. And this, I'll put a link to this worksheet in the same place where the introductory video is, so you can download it and practice if you want to. Now, when we get back from spring break, so spring break comes up in 2 weeks. When we get back from spring break, that's when we start in sort of with the Excel stuff pretty heavily. So if you need to, you can back up a couple of weeks and watch sort of the introductory video if you want to. But if you feel good in Excel and you want to test your skills a little bit more, what I've put in this worksheet here will sort of help to prepare you for the kinds of things that we're going to be doing after spring break. So regardless of whether or not you're sort of proficient in Excel, what I've put up here, should only take you a couple of minutes to do. You can practice through it a couple of times if you want to. So what I've did is just created. This is fake data. There's a number of participants here. 7 participants, A through G, and they each responded to 5 questions. So question 1, question 2, question 3, so on and so forth. And the questions, I guess they range from a low of about 1 to about to a high of 10. And so, this is person A's scores here. Person B would be the next line down, that kind of thing. And so again, this is just like before with Excel. This is very sort of basic data, and you could easily add these up in your head or on a calculator or something like that. But again, the point here is to sort of become proficient in Excel. So we'll ask Excel to do these things for us. So what we're going to do is compute the sum of the 5 scores, an average of the 5 scores, and then we'll introduce 2 new Excel formulas. We'll look for the highest number and we'll look for the lowest number. Now I've given you, right here, I've given you the formula or the syntax to type in each cell. You will just need to replace the word cells with the array. And remember, the array is the group of cells from which Excel is pulling that data. So arrays can be, their group of cells could be this group of cells, could be a row of cells like this, could also be sort of a matrix of cells like this. In this case, the array for person A would go from cell D7 over to H7. So let me show you how to, I'll show you how to do this real quick, and I'll show you how to do maybe 2 of them, and then you can do the rest of them. So remember, we type the formula where we want the number to go. So let me do that again so you can see it, since the cursor was in the way. So the formula for sum is equals sum, S-U-M, and then open parentheses, and then this is where we would type the array. So the array for person A is D7, and then we separate the first and last cell with a colon. D7 to H7, close parentheses, it highlights it for us, hit enter, and the score on those 5 items for person A is 11. So we can double check that Excel did the math correctly. 3 and 4 is 7, 2 is 9, 1 plus 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay. The other way to sort of do this, if you wanted to, let me just delete this. Instead of typing in the cells, you can also highlight the cells with your cursor. Remember, though, if you accidentally highlight the wrong cells, like I almost did there, or if you accidentally highlight sort of another line of cells, you'll get an incorrect. The calculation will be incorrect. So again, whatever you want to do is perfectly fine with me. There's more than one way, more than one right way to do things, and you should do whatever's sort of comfortable for you. All right, so here's how we do average. We'll do average here next. The formula for average or mean is equals average, and then again open parentheses, and we put in the cells. Now, and we hit enter, and so the average of all of these would be 2.2. Now, we're also doing something a little bit different here relative to the other week. Before, we were always putting information sort of adjacent to the column, but believe it or not, you can put the information, you can do the calculation in any cell that you want to. You could do it, down here. You could do it over here. That doesn't matter. This, like I said, this is just sort of a useful skill and a way to sort of think about different ways of compiling information. So we'll do one more. So suppose we want the highest score out of questions 1 through 5 here. The formula for highest score is equals max. And then again, we're pulling it from the same array. We obviously can see pretty quickly that 4 is going to be the highest, but you can sort of use your imagination to think about a lot more data, a lot more columns, a lot more rows, more complex data, that kind of thing. And then over here, you can look for the cell with the smallest or lowest number, and the formula for that is equals min. So you could type in this the formula a bunch of times if you wanted to. You can also, like we talked about last time, sort of pull the the little green box down, and Excel will automatically apply the formula to those different cells. Again, whichever one you do is perfectly, or which one you do is perfectly up to you. The point here is that you should be comfortable with um, at least some of these basic functions in Excel, because what we will ultimately start doing is taking summaries of information like this, okay, and we're going to start creating graphs and doing other things with it. So this is a set of skills that'll sort of build on the skills, or this is a set of skills that the stuff we'll do after spring break we'll sort of build on. If any of this gives you trouble, let me know. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's make sure you're straightened out. I did put the answers here on this second tab. Again, none of these calculations are overly complex. You could you could probably do them with a calculator or even a pen and piece of paper pretty quickly. But to save you the trouble, like I said, I just put the answers here on the second page. So that's it. Hope everyone has a great week. Remember, you're always welcome to get in touch if you have questions or problems. And we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye bye.